Oh my God, this celebrity wedding sponsored by Red Flag. I almost thought it was a joke, the way they wrote about this in the New York Times. Oh my God, we're going to go through it now. And I'll cut back to this every once in a while because my dog's just so cute. Mouse. Okay, so this is Josh Radnor and his girlfriend, now wife. Now, full disclosure, I have never watched a single episode of How I Met Your Mother, which is apparently what made this man famous. Ted. Now, after hearing so many women explain that Ted is like Ross, but worse, I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't watch a man normalizing men treating women like crap. Anyway, this couple's story is, it's nuts. What it's in the New York Times is if it's like the cutest meet cute ever. And I'm like, bleh. This is the title. A psychedelic trip leads to a cosmic divine celebration of love. Okay, the writer is winking to us a lot like, what? And I just, you'll see it. Kind of making fun of them, but not, but kind of. They met while exploring the far reaches of consciousness. Okay, let's look for the red flags as we go, shall we? Josh Radnor and Jordana, I think that's how you say her name, Jacob, were married outdoors this month. This month being January, and the location, New York. Amid a snowstorm with 164 snow-drenched guests shivering in 20-degree evening air. This part right here, as Dr. Jacobs read a 10-minute monologue about her beloved, and Mr. Radnor responded with a 10-minute soliloquy. Okay, this already scares the crap out of me. Read a 10-minute monologue about him? What? Like, you, la, 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 instead of us. I don't know. But this is the part that I was like, 10 minutes, that's long, by the way. But a soliloquy, I was like, what's a soliloquy? I feel stupid, especially as a writer. Just for anybody who feels silly not knowing that. An act of speaking one's thoughts aloud when by oneself, or regardless of any hearers, especially by a character in a play. Ew, that's what you did for your vows, bro? An example of a soliloquy would be in Shakespeare's Hamlet. A soliloquy is a monologue addressed to oneself. Thoughts spoken out loud without addressing another. What? Can you imagine your husband, your soon-to-be husband, his vows, or him like, to be or not to be for 10 minutes? What? I wish I could have been in that audience watching this. But you know what? That sounds like a man and an actor and a famous one. I'm using this as an example to warn women about how selfish and crazy men can be and how crazy we can be when we get sucked into this stuff because of our unhealed codependency or whatever it is. No strangers to extraordinary circumstances, the couple fell for each other while tripping on mushrooms. Okay. Picture it, February 22nd. And Dr. Jason, she is a clinical psychologist. And Josh is an actor and musician. Terrible combo, y'all. Terrible. Oh, in terms of unless they have worked on themselves. They were at a sound meditation retreat in upstate New York. By the way, I used to live in New York City, and then I lived in New Paltz for a while, and I've been to some of this stuff. The upstate is full of some of the weirdest crap, man. A lot of rich people being like, okay, that sounds this is what this was. Take me on an ayahuasca journey, white person. Appropriate some other. Anyway, nothing against ayahuasca. I just know so many people who have used it and are bonkers and think that they're well because they did that. And I'm like, you need help, not just one trip. Anyway, along with 30 other people, they ingested a psychedelic mixture before lying on the floor at opposite sides of a large room, mask covered their eyes as they listened to singing bowls and chimes. Only reason why I'm making fun of this scenario is because I swear to God, white people literally just take everything. We appropriate everything and then sell it back, and it's a rich people. Anyway, usually we're doing it wrong anyway, in a very disrespectful way, and I can kind of picture this being that. Maybe it's not. Just saying. This is when Mr. Radnor and Dr. Jacobs slid into the DMs of each other's consciousness. Oh my God, that is such a funny sentence. I appreciate this writer. That's her, Mr. Radner, now 49. He's like, 50. What do I do when I get sick? Don't marry men. Do not marry these men who are turning 50 or above. You're going to take care of them. I guarantee you that he was like, oh, crap. I am going to die alone with cats and no friends because men suck at friendship. So now all of a sudden he wants to get married. I mean, one of his other girlfriends, he head over heels for her, but he's not rushing to get married because he's scared of a bad marriage. They're not scared of that when they get older because these men are gold diggers. He has said it more than once that he's scared of marriage. Which is fine. People can change their mind. I was scared of marriage. Because men usually ruin our lives. But I wasn't at all scared of marriage with my husband because he's continued to make my life better, and no man has ever done that. But that's the whole point of marriage for women. If they're not making your life better, they are making it worse. Don't bother. Look at this. Across the room, and I don't even know how you pronounce infused metaverse, Dr. Jacobs, so this is her, 36. Oh, it makes sense now. 49, 36, 13-year age gap. Don't do it. Don't date these old men. They're desperate. Was having a conversation with her heart. What do you have to tell me, heart? She asked. You know that man over there across the room? Josh? It replied. I wonder if it's like, or like, how does this work? You're drawn to him. Y'all, don't be listening to your heart when you're on mushrooms. That's not your heart. I don't know what that is. I can't believe this story already. Okay, so they had met the previous day at the onset of a 3-day retreat, which was centered around the meditation ceremony. I love it's in quotes. Now, this is where they were at when they met each other. Radner, the star of How I Met Your Mother, who more recently appeared in Flashman Is in Trouble on Hulu, had been processing a painful breakup for a few months. You've only been processing that for a few months, bro? Cool, great idea to go take some shrooms and then immediately think that's the one and just get married. I'm not saying you can't find love after a breakup, but we know men, right? They do not process their emotions very long, if at all. They can't be alone. They hate being alone. They're either hooking up with women constantly, not all, or moving on to the next. Like, they're serial monogamous because they know that women's labor is so valuable that they are nothing without us. So a few months, bro, come on. He was bouncing around from his parents' place in Ohio to an Airbnb in Nashville, that's my hometown, to record something. And then he went straight to this thing. Cool. So you're like couch surfing, trying to process a breakup. Don't really want to, so you go take some shrooms and then think you're in love and it's all good. You're gone. You found your dream girl. Bro, I'm not buying it. Now she lives in Brooklyn, a subway ride from her close-knit family. I hope you are not going to follow this man to LA. This is what they always want us to do. But anyway, look at this. Clinical psychologist. I'm afraid that maybe she may have ruined her career with this piece because I would never go to a psychologist who told their love story like this. I would never trust a therapist who was like, yeah, I listened to my heart while I was on shrooms. That's how I met my husband. That's how I met my... I didn't even realize I was making that joke. Sorry. She made the trip up there because these experiences are very powerful for me in understanding who I am. She, too, was healing from a broken relationship. Oh, y'all, don't do this. 2 people right out of a breakup? I'm not convinced this is love. This sounds like rebound. And she decided that this weekend would signify a new, less cerebral orientation in which she would be guided by her heart. Okay, please don't be guided by your heart. I am not joking. Your heart is what gets you to love men unconditionally and put up with so much crap. Your gut is what should guide you, never your heart. Okay, for real, I need to, I can expand on this more. Let me know how much you want to go into this in another video. But like, our hearts should not ever be where we make relationship decisions with, especially in patriarchy, especially with men. I can love a man with all my heart and not be compatible with him. If he wants kids and I don't care how much I love that man, I would never marry that man. Because if he is hell-bent on having kids and I am not, one of us is going to have to give in, and that will literally ruin our... Like, do y'all understand? Love is never enough. It is never enough. Especially when women have so much to lose by marrying men, the wrong man. Please don't stop listening to your heart. Your heart has a vote, but it does not get veto power, and it certainly shouldn't be driving everything. Your gut, your intuition, that is never wrong. The problem is we don't listen to our intuition. We listen to our ego, our trauma responses, our heart, or whatever, but not our intuition. Okay, I'm done with that rant. So the night before she got this phone call from her heart, they had chatted for a half hour. That's it. I'm so worried. A half hour is not enough time to oh my God. We just fell into a really easy, fun kind of getting to know you session, he said. They spoke of love and death and the connection between them. Which she told him that she studied. She told him that she feared her approach was overly academic and intellectual. Honey, don't lay your cards on the table like that, because he's going to use that little knowledge to manipulate you. Anyway, I need more experience with both, she said. I thought it was evidence of real depth, he said. I thought she was formidable. Is that from your little soliloquy, bro? They discussed his songwriting. I swear to God, you cannot convince me. I think that this writer is trying to tell us without saying it that everything is about him. Because this is not I just get everything's afar. They discussed his songwriting because they're talking about love and death, but not really her. They're talking about these broad, deep, to be or not to be crap. And then they discussed his songwriting. Hey, mommy, look at me. Look at me. I swear this is why you don't want to date most actors and musicians and comedians and stuff like that, especially if they're men and they haven't healed any of that trauma, because they're desperate for your approval. Mommy, look what I'm doing. And you'll be like, good job. If you don't believe me, go read Matthew Perry's story. That man exhausted the women who dated him and literally made his last ex watch him on TV with her so that he could be like, wow, am I great? And she's like, yeah, he's great. I'm not done with Matthew Perry. Remind me, I need to make a video about that, because he was not the man that he sold himself as. Rest in peace, but also the truth is the truth. I have a lot of empathy for addicts, but I do not justify their behavior behind addiction. So look, he's talking about his new album. Any man who's come to my improv show and watch me perform as his date. Any man who this is straight out of Barbie. Watch me play a song. Look at this. Every couple has a version of Flirting. This was theirs. I am getting a kick out of this writer. After their psychedelic experience, as part of her new commitment to being guided by her emotions, don't do that. Your emotions are probably rooted in trauma responses and unhealthy patterns, but okay. She felt obligated to tell Mr. Radner that she liked him. Okay, right here. She's pursuing him. She's pursuing him right out of the gate. This is bad, y'all. He already has the upper hand. It's one thing if you're hey, and then you leave it to them. But if she's I'm going to follow my heart. My heart called me and said, and then she's like, hey, I like you. Oh, there is a way to let a man know that you to give him the green light. But no, we're not chasing men anymore. We're not doing that. Please stop doing that. I do believe that women are the ones who do all the picking, but we don't do the chasing. And I can go into that more, but don't do this. So she tap him on the shoulder. I had this experience in ceremony of listening to my heart. It called me and said, my heart is drawn to you. Remember, she was on shrooms when she was drawn to him. This is already scaring me. Slightly panicked by the feeling stirring inside him, Mr. Radner replied, you came up for me in ceremony as well, but I'm not ready to talk about it. I'm not ready to talk about it. Right away, this man is putting her back in arm's length. I swear, men are so good at this. They're so good at this, y'all. They're so good at I like you, but stay back. It's on my terms, buddy. Go. Y'all, this is the perfect story. Not all the red flags, but a lot of the red flags are all in this story. Oh my God, I'm having so much fun. I hope you are too. Moses is definitely having fun. Aren't you? Oh my God, he didn't. He's asleep. And then within minutes of leaving the retreat, he was ready. Okay, now I'm ready. Hi, it's Josh Radnor. Is that all you texted, buddy? Oh my God, see? Low effort. He might as well said DTF. These guys on Tinder. Hey, what's your favorite color? This began a month long. Okay, so for a month, they're just texting. They discuss their, get ready. Yeah, you can get to know someone so well in just 1 month. Okay. Look at this. What do they talk about other than each other's families? They talked about her career and his creative efforts to escape the shadow. Okay, so he's a really insecure man. I'm already picking that up. Don't date insecure men. They're going to make you go, yay, all the time, in addition to pulling you down and exhausting you in so many ways. He was stoked that she didn't know who he was, though. He probably was like, God, I hope she doesn't know what a jerk I was on that show. They talked, texted, and sent voice memos. We were constantly in touch. That is not healthy. That's not healthy. Do you have a life, girl? Do you have a life? Because you're already centering this relationship in this man and probably not available for your friends. Probably distracted all the time. So you're already doing it. Y'all don't do this. Don't let meeting a guy completely hijack your life right out of the gate, because that is what he's going to expect forever. They talked about thoughts, feelings, insights. Okay, so then he gets cast and Fleischman is in trouble, so he actually ends up in New York and finally go on a first date. A really beautiful and intense and powerful first date. I don't like that word intense. That's usually not good. Like a really great date, I still can't imagine the word intense being that scares me right there. Okay, here we go again. I can't believe they included this in the story. You're telling us right out of the gate what all their problems are going to be in their whole marriage. Later that night, Mr. Radnor developed what he called a vulnerability hangover. Okay, Brene Brown. And told her, my walls have gone up. This man is going to use his walls, his fear of vulnerability, to control her forever. And this is what I want women to not do. Rather than feeling rejected, she was moved by his honesty. Okay, this was manipulation, but honest, okay. To me, it showed me that he could process with me in the moment and tell me what was going on for him. I'm not saying that we're not all dealing with stuff, processing stuff. I have shared before, and I will continue to share ways that I had to face my own fears all along and continue to. But a man right out of the gate after a first date is like, my walls are up. Red flag. They grew inseparable. Again, this is stop making this a good thing. This is not a good thing. God. Within months, they're discussing marriage. They became engaged one morning in May in Joshua Tree. God, everything about this is like a stereotype. First, they meditated. Then Mr. Radnor casually suggested that they write each other love letters. His ended with a proposal. Look at this. Their friends say they're in a perpetual college dorm go deep mode. That doesn't sound like a compliment. Rather than most adults abandon that after graduation, yeah, there's a reason for that. Because we're not on mushrooms when we're trying to actually date for partners. So they decided on a January wedding. And they wanted their wedding to rebrand January 6th, which is, okay. Okay, I can't even read all this. This is so ridiculous. Since they started a meditation ceremony, they planned for the wedding weekend to reflect the concept of set and setting, which is the psychedelic context refers to the interaction between one's emotional and mental state and the physical environment. What? Y'all both sound not okay. The night before there was a dinner with decorative mushrooms. Oh my God. Okay, look at this. At least one speech that referred to Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. There were 7 therapists. Okay. Mr. Radnor strummed his guitar. You know what? Could you not make your wedding about performing? Seriously. Like maybe at the party, the reception, you can get your guitar out, but sit with your wife. What do you call it? Bride, fiance, because this is the night before. I'd be pissed if my soon-to-be husband was like, I'm going to perform tonight. No, hire somebody, bro. The only other sound was the crackle of burning wood. As he sang the lyrics he wrote for his bride. One day this all be gone. What remains will be the songs I sang to you. What? On the morning of the wedding, there was a yoga and then a glass sound meditation. Of course there was. Y'all are fully committing to this theme. And then in the couple's most significant attempt to stimulate the senses, this ceremony was called to take place outside in the bracing cold at dusk. Okay, see, now I actually really hate these people. Again, I don't know them. I don't care. But as somebody who has Renaults, I don't know if you know what that is, but I literally can't move my fingers if they are cold at all. Even though I worked in the outdoors, worked in skiing, all this, one of the reasons why I had to quit that industry is because being cold is miserable for me. Because I don't get circulation. I would be so mad. They're just like, we want to heighten people's senses as if they're on mushrooms by making them all, even grandma, children, people who have a hard time. We're going to make them stand outside. You guys are so selfish. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's their day. But like, it's also like really selfish to do that to people. Not even a snowstorm. This is the important part, y'all, which had been predicted by meteorologists for days, could thwart the couple's intentions. I love that she's just being like, they were warned that this was a massive snowstorm, and that would not deter them because they're selfish. So their guests bundled up and headed into the evening storm. I hate this couple so much now. The couple said that they had miscalculated in thinking that the heavy snow would start later than it did. But old Josh here was like, the snow was two things. Cold and anxiety producing, okay. But cosmic and divine. Fark off. Fark you. Neither slippery driving conditions, which is dangerous. Y'all are actually really reckless. I've been talking about reckless men lately, especially. Nor ice chunks accumulating on hairdos and beards could keep their guests away. I just love the way this writer is like, can you believe this? In the blitz of large shimmering snowflakes, the bride, groom, and their siblings and their parents. Imagine making your old parents have to walk on ice. Look at that snow. Managed to stride down the aisle without falling. This is so selfish. The bride promised to give her groom space. Oh my God, y'all, these vows. This is just a little chunk. Okay, look. My first vow is freedom. Freedom! Which also means we are free to stay, or, in case you didn't already know this, because men definitely don't know this, especially if you get cancer, they're definitely not 6 times more likely to actually already know this. Or if this relationship ever evolves in such a way that it is no longer serving our highest good, men are totally fine. They already know this. We are free to go. Great. You just were like, you know what? You can leave me at any point if it's not working for you. Because we know that, like, it takes a lot for women to tap out when it's not working for us. But men are like, ooh, hot girl. You know what? The 13-year age gap, not enough. I need a 20-something-year-old. Little Leo in the making. We know it is a choice, not an obligation, that makes us want to remain exactly where we are. Where is where you are? You barely know each other. Y'all, you literally just met, but okay. The groom cried. Of course, he's an actor. They're great at that. As he pledged himself, I look into the infinity of your green eyes. I know that my not having gotten married until now was not due to some brokenness in me. Oh my God. Okay, Cecilia Regina talks about this, my mutual. Pay attention to what men say out loud. Whenever they say something like this is actually an admission. Who is going to say this? Who's going to say, okay, just in case you guys are worried, me not getting married wasn't because I'm afraid of marriage or because I'm broken. No. Just in case. We're like, people probably weren't thinking about that. This is like the Barbara Streisand effect right here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. The truth is, I didn't get married until now because I was waiting for you. Okay, sure. Would you have married her if you had not been tripping on shrooms? Okay, so this is like the longest wedding ever, and everyone's freezing. Because remember, this is just a few lines of their 10-minute monologue, soliloquy, whatever. So as people are thawing out indoors, probably because they're freezing, the newlyweds peeled off so that a bride's snow-drenched hair could be restyled as the groom in first official act as a husband. Okay, knelt at her feet and warmed them with a blow dryer. Oh, wow, what a great guy. Never mind all that other stuff. Okay, so then, back in the reception, snow is falling. 115 people are planning to stay at the cabins in this venue, and they're checking their app and they're rechecking because it is snowing. It is like a big old storm that, I don't know, meteorologists who might know a little thing about weather predicted. And they're like, no, I don't know how this happened. So they're nervous. But the bride and groom tried to focus on their speeches and let the wedding planner and the venue staff handle that crazy logistic stuff where people might die getting home. But energetically in the room, we could feel the stress. For sure, bro. Around 10:30 p.m., a member of the venue staff made an announcement the roads were not passable and everybody would need to spend the night. Okay, so as much as I love an adventure, an unplanned adventure, now that I'm getting older, now that I have a dog, which doesn't seem like a lot of work, but actually you wouldn't believe how much work this dog is because he's a mess if I ever leave home. Babysitters, dog sitters, medication, contact lenses. Like, I could think of a million things that people were not prepared for because this couple was like, no, the snow will be fine, whatever. You know, we can control the clouds probably with our psychedelic blah. Like, this couple is so selfish and reckless. And they're like, look, we're trying to give our speeches. Everybody's just checking their phones for the weather. Just in case you, like, look at this. Look at this. Why? So all the extra people who have to stay are the 10 members of the wedding band, the event planners, the venue staff members, and a reporter from the New York Times. A total of 59 extra people. Mind you, these are not rich people, okay? The rich people already have hotel rooms there. And if you don't know what's happening in journalism right now, they're literally laying off 100 people at LA. Like, journalists are in crisis, losing their jobs. They don't hardly make money at all. And they're like, cool, you're going to stay here. The venue, the band, the people working that event. I have worked events. I've worked a lot of weddings. These people are making like such a low day rate. And now, like, whatever babies, whatever. Oh my God. This is just ridiculous. All of this could have been prevented. Some were assigned the top bunks in rooms that the couple's friends had rented for the weekend, while others slept at the venue owner's on-site residence. Now, again, if you know me, I literally lived in a truck for 5 years. I was on couch surfing for like 9 months. I love an adventure. I love having an unplanned slumber party. But I'm aware that most people are not like me, and that this would be very stressful for a lot of people and even dangerous. Mentally, health-wise, what if they have heart attack medicine that they hadn't you know? The rest of the wedding, I don't even know. I don't even care. I hate this couple. I hate how selfish they are. I hate rich people who do not understand the lived experiences of middle class, working class, and people who can never afford to be this flexible. But the guests received bags of containing incense sticks, an incense dish, CBD tincture, an intention kit with paper and a pen. We find setting an intention can be a helpful way to drop in and calibrate your life, blah, blah, blah. Don't follow your heart.